So I have a question. Have any of you been following this funny, tragic debacle that is the Masters of the Universe Revelations? Now, I've been quasi following it on YouTube. You know, I I I feign interest because be honest with you, like I've said many times in the past, I'm an unapologetic kid from the 80s. I love 80s. I love everything from the 80s. Like Transformers, give me Star Wars, give me Thundercats, which side note, Thundercats, best best theme song, best opening of all the 80s cartoons. People out there can debate me all they want. Let me tell you something. When that Thundercats thing came on, I mean, when that song hit, I was like, boom, I was all in. But anyway, side note, unapologetic. I love the 80s. I love Ghostbusters. I just love it. G.I. Joe, give me it all. Give me She-Ra, give me Care Bears, give me all that stuff. I loved it. I just sucked it all up. I loved it. And then there was He-Man. He-Man to me was a cool show. I enjoyed He-Man. I had all the He-Man figures. It was like He-Man for that 30-minute block was the he cured the latchkey kid that was me and many of the other latchkey kids around the world. He was our father figure when Optimus Prime wasn't there. When Optimus Prime's 30 minutes of visitation was over, He-Man had his 30 minutes of visitation, and it was cool. Yeah, like I said, unapologetic. I'm an unapologetic fan of the 80s. But with that said, I've never seen so many people so mad at a property like they have been with He-Man. And there are many different reasons and everything like that. But it got me thinking. I'm going to take a different perspective on this completely because it got me thinking. Watching that show and watching people's reaction to it, including friends of mine, that show right there is the reason why I'm a Transformers fan and will always be a Transformers fan, unapologetic Transformers fan. Because think about it, Transformers is one of those shows that brings everyone together. You can't find the toxic white male. You can't find there's no need. They're robots. They're robots that have a simple task. We have the good robots fighting the bad robots. It's pretty cut and dry. It's like there's character dynamics in there, but like you don't have to worry about racial stuff because who's the black Transformer? Jazz. Jazz is the black Transformer, but not because his actual coloring is black. No, Jazz is Jazz was voiced by a black man, and Scatman. He was voiced by a black man in the live action movie. For the few minutes he talked before he was ripped in half and he died, like I think he was the first Transformer in the live action series to die, which goes along with the fun stereotype of black people in horror movies where we're always the first ones to die. We always die stupidly and first. As of late that's changed quite a bit, but hey, we're now third or fourth. Black people die third or fourth in horror movies now. And that's progress, ladies and gentlemen. That's progress. But it's always after the woman who trips and falls and breaks her ankle on the big log that she didn't see coming a mile away. But once again, I digress. But this is the reason why I'm a Transformers fan. It's because every group I'm in, we're all on the same equal playing field. There are people in my group the groups that I'm a part of, some of them are pretty well to do. Some of them aren't too. They have problems. Some guys are divorcees. Some guys in the group are not divorcees. Some of the women in the group are. It doesn't matter. Like, a couple of women in a group are lesbians. Who cares? Like, we all are on the same equal playing field. There's no toxic male figure to destroy. They're robots, and it's one of those things that it just brings people. It really just brings people together, because it's like the characters, the dynamics of the characters. You don't have to worry about somebody upstaging Optimus Prime, because you're never going to be able to upstage Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime is an institution unto himself. Like, we actually all thought Luke Skywalker was a entity, a property unto himself. Then The Last Jedi came, and we realized Luke Skywalker is not a property unto himself. I mean, essentially he became a lazy, passive villain in that movie, and it's like it was like, oh, you're gonna make Optimus Prime a villain? They've already made him a villain. Well, you're gonna make Optimus Prime kill some robots? He's already killed a bunch of robots. You're gonna make him attack Bumblebee? He's already attacked Bumblebee as Nemesis Prime. What is he? What could you possibly do to this character to that would actually make sense in the overall overarching logic, and wouldn't make the fans turn against whoever created whatever series and scenarios that they have. I mean, let's be clear. They've already tried this, and right in front of us, with Siege, with War for Cybertron, with Siege, and with Earthrise. They've already thrown this out in front of us, with Elita 1 being a far more superior, a much more capable leader than Optimus Prime, and she's just sitting there questioning him constantly. And I feel like the only reason she didn't usurp him as leader was that he had the Matrix, and that was pretty much it. Because let's be honest here, that series, I understand where they were going, where it's like he's an immature leader. He hasn't yet grown into the character that we all knew, the wise, benevolent leader of the Autobots. I get where they were going, but here's the thing. If he's that way in episode 1 of Siege, by the time, episode 6? By the time episode 6 comes, he better start showing some real, cunning leadership traits. He needs to arc, and that's the and I feel like that's the problem people are having with Siege and with War for Cybertron in general. No one has an arc. The only person that had an arc was Elita 1, and she died. Spoiler alert. She died in Earthrise. She got the heroic death. I mean, unless they bring her back, and at the time of recording this, Kingdom hasn't come out yet, so I don't know if she's going to miraculously be revived from dead, but right now, as of right now, she's dead. She went out in the blaze of glory, fighting Shockwave, and she went out like a winner. And Optimus Prime still is a bumbling, incompetent idiot loser who doesn't know what he's doing. But like I said, if they structure this properly, by the end of the first season, he should start showing growth. And he still hasn't grown in that series, which is why that series comes across as soulless. And it took me a minute to sort of pinpoint exactly what makes the show so soulless. That's it. The main character, the true leader of the series, the guy who is just the character who is just the embodiment of the entire franchise, you made him a moron. Think about that for a second. You made him a moron. And that's why nobody really likes the series. The writing's bad, the voice acting's bad. There's no soul to this series. It's just a series they created to sell, to sort of justify people wanting to buy their stuff. And it's not even good. If anything, Netflix should delay Kingdom as long as possible. As a matter of fact, don't even do Kingdom. Just constantly drop trailers for Kingdom and just never release the damn series, and just, it'll be one 10-year long trailer. It was like, oh, guys will be in their 60s like, oh man, I wonder when Kingdom's gonna drop. Just let it go away. Just let it go away. But yeah, they did this. They tried this with Transformers, and it was pointless and soulless, and that's why no one likes this series. I mean, people are gonna watch it because they just, there's those people who just want to see where it goes. There's those people who just want to sit around shitting on it. There's those people who are just diehard fans and are going to watch anything that's put out, any media. And that's fine. If you're in any of those categories, good on you. I mean, I'm going to watch it I guess I'm more of the shitting on and curiosity crowd. I don't know exactly where I fall in that. But yeah, I'm hoping with everything I'm made of that Kingdom is actually good. I'm hoping Kingdom is good. It's not going to be. I'll be shocked if it is at this point. But once again, it's soulless. He-Man came across as soulless and cheap and just whack. The animation is great, but everything else in it just comes across as whack. It was a setup from the first 5 minutes, what was going to happen, and then it was all downhill from there. Siege gave us hope for about 3 episodes. Had maybe some decent, maybe it's gonna go this way, it's gonna go that way, and then it just was like meh. So I don't know. It just kind of bothered me that I was watching people go into this series. By the way, side note, what is it with Netflix and destroying our youth? Ladies and gentlemen, this is why Netflix is hemorrhaging subscribers, because they keep butchering our youth. These things are layups. He-Man, Sword of Power, jumps on his lion, bust up bad guys. Pretty simple formula. Transformers, War for Cybertron. Optimus Prime, give him a gun, have him go bust up some dudes, have him get into a couple of fights, have him be defeated by Megatron very badly in the first season, not the second season, and then he needs to redeem himself in the subsequent seasons afterwards. It's not that hard. But apparently these Hollywood types just want to make things hard, and this is why people are just saying, screw you, I don't want to watch your stuff. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy yelling into a microphone, and yeah, that's what I do. Apparently, it's not what I do. I do more than that, but right now I'm doing that, and it sounds cool. To me, it sounds fun. I just yell into a microphone. With that said, please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Are you all in on Transformers? Were you cool with He-Man? Do you want the Transformers to go in that direction, or do you want different characters highlight? What would you like as a viewer of Transformers? Like, what would you like as a consumer of Transformers media? Me personally, this stuff has made me more of a Transformers fan than anything else, I think, in this world. So with that said, be safe, be good. And this is the Drunken Prime, cracking open another beer and signing off.